Hello and welcome to a 50-cent tour of Wednesday, July 3rd, 2013. Please find a seat on the Liberty Bus and we will begin our tour. Over the last couple days, I've been giving some background on our country in honor of the signing of the Declaration of Independence anniversary tomorrow. I've been just giving some background on why our country is where it is and the fact that it is where it is. But this morning there's just one bit of news that I want to drop in here because it's so significant. Morsi denies Egyptian military signaling an imminent coup. Obama calls Morsi. Now this is from yesterday. And I just heard on the radio that a military coup is in progress in Egypt. And they were angry with their president, but they were also angry with Obama for some of his interference in their government process. So there are rumors, if you're around the Liberty community, you're reading different blogs. I haven't emphasized them because whether or not it actually happens, I'm not sure. And we can't afford to have false hope. We have to be determined that no matter what happens, we're going to keep pressing through. But there has been a rumor that we may see this type of event in our own country. And people here, we all know we have come to realize that we no longer have our constitutional republic. We've come to realize that we can't affect change through voting because of voter fraud. And where are we? What resources are left to us? Now, I'm not suggesting that we take arms. It's not, Alex Jones always says he who shoots first loses. I think that we just persist in prayer, persist in sending out good vibes. I realize how squirrely that might sound, but I truly believe that has a huge effect when we refuse to have fear. We hear these weird reports, Alex Jones today talking about it, airplanes flying, buzzing low through Austin. When we hear these reports, if our response is fear and we're emitting that fear, then we are agreeing with the evil plans. But if we remain in faith, hope, and love, then we are releasing an atmosphere in which miracles can happen, in which restoration can take place. And so if something like this happens, I trust that it will flow out of a desire for liberty, justice, peace, because that's really what we all want. So just a little footnote here, actually it's just a little bookmark that we might be facing something like this. There definitely are rumors out there. And on to our regularly scheduled program, which today is the banking system and how the banking system has been involved in bringing us to the place in which we find ourselves. A short banking history of the United States from the Wall Street Journal. Now, this is not from a liberty perspective. It's rather critical of Thomas Jefferson for not wanting a central bank. But I still find it interesting. Jefferson's chief political rival, Alexander Hamilton, had grown up almost literally in a counting house in the West Indian island of St. Croix, managing the place by the time he was in his middle teens. He had a profound and practical understanding of markets and how they work, and understanding of, yes, he did. He understood how to use finances to manipulate and control. Hamilton wanted to establish a central bank modeled on the Bank of England. So there we have it. The government would own 20%, have 2 seats on the board. I'm guessing what? There were 12 seats? This is not what, this is really not the constitutional reference for, the Congress may establish currency, or however that specifically is written. Now, so there's Alexander Hamilton here right at the time of the founding of our nation, with a foot in the door. And because, like I said, this is the Wall Street Journal. This is actually written from a point of view that Hamilton knew what he was doing. The reference to the Bank of England, I want to draw in this little 5-minute video, What is Next, Renaissance or Dark Ages, which is not about America. It's actually more about England, but it's about how finances shaped the course of history and helped to introduce a Renaissance. And within the Renaissance, the Bank of England was founded, and the Bank of England, I believe, set up the dominoes that would fall and lead us into the next Dark Ages, which I believe in many respects we are in now, because there is a very high level of serfdom, of tyranny, of haves and have-nots. And so, I think that understanding the Bank of England is key in understanding American finance. And this is one of our websites, and it hasn't been updated in a while, but it just has some basic information, some of the things that I wasn't able to get to this week that are significant. And if you know someone who wants to learn more, there are some resources here, some YouTube videos mostly. And I am moving on with some of the YouTube videos that are actually referenced on the banking page of that Illuminati for Ditzes and Dolts website. House of Rothschild versus U.S. presidents. And this video has the information about how presidents who opposed the Federal Reserve have not fared well, shall we say. And this, for people who really want to dive in and learn more, and this will be a short video because there's a lot of information here, and if you or people you know need a better understanding of why our country is what it is, what the problems are, what the underlying foundational problems are, these can help, I believe. This is 1 out of 5, and this is 10 minutes, so you've got about an hour to invest here. Should you, your mission, should you decide to accept it. Money as debt, and just helpful in understanding how our banking system functions and how it brings about a serfdom, really. And this is probably my favorite. Really, it did revolutionize my thinking about this subject. This is almost 2 hours long. The Secret of Oz by Bill Still. I do not claim to understand finance tremendously well. My husband has really dived, I'm not given into this subject, and Bill Still is one of his favorite economists. One of the ideas expressed by Bill Still are brilliant and helpful and can serve to move us into a new renaissance. So with that, happy 4th of July weekend. Hope you have a great time, some wonderful events planned with families. Hope that you're able to make some good memories and enjoy this kind of peak of the summer. The Daily Tour is a presentation of She Who Will Walk in the Dark Productions, and we thank you so much for joining us for today's tour. The dawn is coming. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Hoping that you will remember that you will love one another, that you will take care of yourselves and one another, and that you will insist on liberty and justice for all.